morning. How are you guys today? Um, so last week was fantastic. Like I was up, remember, I got showered. I was just so motivated, so excited, so prepared. Today, I am so tired. But hey, it's okay. I still showered for you. You're welcome. I had to put a little curl in the hair today because it was not cooperating, but that's what happened. So anyway, good morning, guys. Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good week last week? Did you go put something positive and loving out into the world? Did you take a minute to smile at that stranger that we talked about so that you could become, even if you don't become friends and you just have a moment in your life where you smile and you laugh a little bit and you connect with another human being? I think that's just awesome. So hopefully you were able to do that. I'm looking to see you guys pop. Oh, thank you for the pretty hair comment, Jane. Thank you. So, like, true story. I used to. I'm of the generation. Like the Charlie's Angels was like all the rage when I was growing up. So, me and my two girlfriends, true story, we used to play Charlie's Angels. My friend Brooke was always the Kate Jackson character. She's in Pennsylvania now, and we still communicate. I was always like the Farrah Fawcett or Cheryl Ladd or whoever it was that played the blonde with the wings. Remember the wings? Yep, that was me. And then my friend Rosie, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, she was always the Jacqueline Smith character because she had the same hair. It was all hair based, very, very typecast, if you will. Anyway, but so, it's the humidity in Florida the majority of the year prompted me to just go, forget it. I'm not attempting to curl my hair, which was kind of my daily routine. Get up, get dressed, you shower, you blow dry your hair, and then you curl it. It was just a wasted amount of time. So I stopped doing that. But when it's not as humid and when the weather changes, I've been doing it a little bit more. Candidly, I think as I got a little bit older, maybe my hair changed too, because when I get out of the shower, it's got a lot more curl than it ever used to. So anyway, but yeah, so I had to put a little, but you know what? I'm looking at this as I'm sitting here. So this is the picture, one of my favorite pictures of Eric and myself. And I have this sitting right here in front of me so I can see him all the time. But as I look at that picture, I'm like, well, my hair's kind of the same. So I don't know. Anyway, I haven't changed, put it this way. The only time my hair has been anything other than long-ish and blonde-ish, is when I got married, and I had to cut my hair short, and it was devastating. But it was all the years of performing, and when you're a performer, you have an appearance writer, which is essentially a contract that you sign with your employer saying that we're employing you because you look a certain way. And that includes your weight, by the way. So your weight, your hair color, all of that, right? That you're hired to look a certain way so that when you're performing, costumes remain fitting, the show is cohesive from beginning to end, from first show to the 500th show. All of that is legit. That's fine. But all of that for years and years, doing 4 and 5 shows a day, and imagining having to, because my hair was like tragic. It was straight. And so I'd have to curl it every time and hairspray all over. And then I'd have to do it again for the next show, more makeup, more hair. You'd sweat it all off, right? You sweat it off and you're putting it up in headpieces. So you had to prep for every show. So my hair was a hot mess by the end of my performing days, which was by that time Eric and I were engaged. And so I remember going, okay, my hair's really unhealthy on the ends. And they're like, the only way to fix that is to like kind of give it a big chop. So I did. And I hated it. I did not like short hair on me. And my wedding pictures, I don't ever put them out because I'm like, that doesn't feel like me at all. So anyway, I don't know how we got to talking about hair, but thank you. Anyway, all right, let me see. You guys have popped in. Tracy, another Tracy. I have lots of Tracys. Tracy Moore, thank you for popping in. I adore you. Thank you so much. Jay, I think you popped in before I got to say it to you as well. Let's see. Oh, you guys are talking about the snow. Okay, let me pop up. Oh, Sydney. Yes, love Charlie's Angels. I was Jacqueline, loved her hair. Oh, I know, right? Gosh, her hair was the best, but my friend Rosie had the exact hairstyle. So we were very much typecast during those days. But I have to tell you, we had such great adventures. We would create our own mysteries. I mean, this is again when kids didn't have cell phones. We didn't have video games. We didn't have all of those electronic things. We didn't even have TV, really. You had like 3 channels, and you didn't like kid shows came on Saturday mornings. That was it. And unless, it was in the evening at like 8 p.m. or something. But so, yeah, during the day, during the weekends, you had nothing to do but creative play. We used to play Olympics in my pool using glass Coke bottles as our trophies. We played Charlie's Angels, and we lived in Virginia Beach, is where I lived. And before they leveled the sand dunes and created condos, there were sand dunes at the end, like right behind Rosie's house, because we were like just a block down from the Chesapeake Bay, and our little private beach for our little community, which was not really, really private. It sounds fancier than it is. It really wasn't. But yeah, we used to create so many adventures going back through the sand dunes and going up and down and back there. And Rosie's house was really cool because, again, Virginia, right? So you can have like basements, or just the topography is different. So it looked like it was a 1-story house, but when you would go down the hill that was right beside her house, you'd see that the bottom floor was kind of hidden from the front, but you could see it from the back. But anyway, so I don't know why I'm going back to the Charlie's Angels. Oh, talking about hair. But yes, for years and years and years, I had the Farrah Fawcett wings. That was it. In fact, my older sister was kind of mean to me once. And when I came back from getting my hair done that way, she pulled out her Rod Stewart album and said that I looked like him. Yeah, that wasn't very nice. But anyway, so I hope you guys had a great week. So a couple things before we get going. First of all, let me see. Pam says, I didn't pretend to be Farrah Fawcett. What was it? Wella Balsam? I'm like having total flashback. Was that what hers was? Wella Balsam? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what I'm thinking of and why that just popped into my head. But let's see. We're talking about Jay. This is where we are. Jay says, very jealous of the Orlando crowd today with our foot of snow here in Massachusetts. Oh my gosh, a foot. So you'll have to send pictures. In fact, Jay, if you think about it, you have to. But text me a picture at 407-848-8042. Okay, 407-848-8042, and I'll show it up here if you want. But it's okay if you don't want to. Let's see. Pam, Jay, one of my son, and the other son is New Hampshire. Lots of snow. So Pam, I don't know how you like. I'm stressed out that my son is in Harrisonburg, Virginia, with all the snow. He sent me a picture. And of course, he waited until Saturday morning to go stock up on anything, which, typical boy, even though I reminded him earlier in the week, hey, go stock up. You just got back to school from winter break anyway. Make sure you're stocked with everything you're going to need. And he's fine, but still. Yeah, okay. Shampoo. I'm going through these. Yay. Bonus of a snowstorm. Yeah, it was pretty big. So yeah, where I know a lot of you are impacted. Most people are impacted by this. So yeah, let me know if you are, if you're kind of snowbound. Ernie, good morning, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while. So nice to see you here. Oh, Pam says no, her shampoo was literally called Farrah Fawcett. Really? Okay. Well, maybe, I don't know. That's interesting. Okay. Maybe they still make it. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's get going. So this week, well, I guess it's time to show you my new mug since I'm choking. So look at what I got. This is from one of my clients. I mean, how absolutely amazing and thoughtful. You guys know we were talking all about the bluebirds and the blue jays and signs from Eric and, whether it is or it isn't, I choose to think it is. But then look what I got. I got a really beautiful, it's like a tumbler, which I love because it has the lid on it. And so I have water in it now. I already had coffee in it this morning. Coffee was in it earlier, but had my coffee and now I'm on to water in case I choke up while I'm chatting with you. But isn't this the sweetest? And the message just said, for one of the biggest and most caring hearts I know, which is very, very sweet. It made me cry a whole lot because just people's random thoughtfulness and kindness, it affects me. And that's why I want everybody to go out and do those little random things. I mean, it doesn't have to be that you send them a gift, but just a little random moment of, hey, we're all in this together. You're doing a good job and I appreciate you, and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. And then it's also, I will take a sip of it because I'm going to choke in a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's also double birthday week. So my oldest has his birthday on tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? It is. It's tomorrow. His birthday is tomorrow, and then my birthday is actually on Friday. So this is a double whammy birthday week for us. I'm excited for his, not excited for mine. Good morning, Geraint. I see you popped in. Oh, I love it. I love it, Bluebirds. And Luis, good morning to you, my friend. So it's birthday week, and I know I've told you this story before, but I always like to, I was telling somebody else this not too long ago about my kids and my birthdays, and how of my 4 children, they were all planned around my dance studio that I had at the time, and when was going to be the most convenient time to, be 9 months pregnant and have a newborn and have to take some time off. And obviously the summertime was the best. We always had our recital, like usually the weekend after Memorial Day. So we're always talking like that first weekend in June-ish. And so you'll notice my other 3 children all have birthdays within within 3 weeks of each other in June and July. But my first one, the only other time that was a decent time, was January, because it gave me time to have a child, have a baby, be home for a little bit, and then have plenty of time to get back for my show. So anyway, so happy birthday to Forrest tomorrow, and we can just skip right past mine on Friday. I'm not really excited about it at this age. It's just a day. I'm just gonna let it go. All right, anyway, all right, let's get going. We have some fun brewing topics today. All right, I think I found the button. Yeah, I did. Okay, so our brewing topics. Before we jump into those, though, Pam Hickman, you had your birthday on the 23rd. So January, Aquarius people, I feel ya. Happy belated birthday. Well, I said happy birthday to you then, but happy birthday to you again. All right, so our topics today: seller, accept the showings; buyers, be sure before you sign; and solar panel tips from a lender. Again, all things that come from real life experiences and things that we're either going through or went through, or maybe it was a long time ago and it just, reminded me. But all of these are really good topics. So let's go to our first one, which is sellers, say yes to the request. And I know I have talked about this before, but it is worth repeating, because sometimes I don't think all of the sellers understand. What we are trying to accomplish is to sell your home, right? Your home is on the market because you either want or need, sometimes both, but want or need to sell your home. So the way we do that is we allow people to get inside it, to see it. They can see it online. They can see it through the MLS and property searches. They can see it through the social media posts, or they can see it through third-party websites. But they need to sometimes physically get inside your home. And the way that happens is that their realtor will request a showing. It's all through a system, all through the MLS. It's not just realtors texting each other. It's through a system. They click showing time or showing request, or however it works, wherever you are, through the MLS. The listing agent, I receive a very special text. There's a special sound that comes when it's a real estate related MLS showing request or a feedback or something like that. There's a very special sound that we get, and I will say, they're requested to show, 123 Main Street tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then I literally, no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I text my client, we have a showing request for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please confirm. I know I have told you guys this before, and so I'm not fussing at you, because you know better. But it is still so frustrating to have people go, can they do it a little bit later? Or I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable, right? Sometimes it is unavoidable. It's just simply no way someone can be there. But let's just say, for instance, if you have family coming in, guests coming in, staying at your house for a few days, and you're like, you know what, I can't really do any showings. Well, you know what? Tell your listing agent so that we can block that off. Because there's really nothing worse than a buyer asking their agent to see a property and then the seller says no. That is immediately, well, are you kidding me? You trying to sell your house here and I could potentially want to buy it. So the reason I say yes to the request is not just because of that, but I'm going to give you an overview of a story from this past week. So I had someone who had requested a showing. My seller was great and said yes. Then right before the showing, the agent said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to cancel. They just, for whatever reason, they decided they don't want to see the property. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I text my seller, hey, I'm so sorry. You know, the buyer's agent said that the buyer changed their mind. They don't really want to see the property now. So we're going to cancel that showing. Fine. That happens, right? That happens. At least they called, because there's a lot of times that people just don't show up. And that's frustrating too. But at least these people called and we were able to get it worked out. Well, then like 2 days later, that same realtor called me at 5:45 p.m. And said, Amy, I know you are going to think I'm crazy, but my clients are wondering, they've changed their mind. They would like to see the home. Is it possible for us to see it at 6:15? And I said, like in 30 minutes, 6:15 p.m., like 30 minutes from now? And she's like, yes, is it at all possible? I was like, well, you know, I mean, candidly, everybody would like more than 30 minutes notice that you're going to have a showing, especially in the evening when you've pretty much assumed there's not going to be any more showings for the day. So you may have relaxed a little bit, kicked off your shoes, and maybe the dinner dishes are still in the sink or on the stove, right? So I asked my seller, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, but the people that canceled the other day have decided that they want to see the property. Is there any way they could get there at like 6:15? To my seller's credit, she said yes. She's like, yep, we can do it. I was like, oh, fantastic. So the agent on the other end was super, super, super excited, showed the clients the property, and they submitted an offer. So the lesson there is say yes to the request, because there is a level of inconvenience. And let's just say in this scenario, I kind of said to the other agent, I was like, look, we're confirming it kind of on short notice. So just please excuse the home if it's not 100% show ready. They weren't expecting a showing this evening. And the agent and the buyer totally understood. The house was beautiful anyway. But just a little point of reference. If you get a showing request, you should really 99.999% go ahead and say yes, and then figure out how you can fix any inconvenience. Because that one person that you deny a request to could have been the person that wanted to buy it. Now, flip side, let's go to our brewing topic number 2, which is buyers. Before you sign, make sure that you have thought through the process, because the flip side of this story is we accepted a showing, they wrote a contract, and then 2 days later decided they wanted to back out of the contract. Now, there is something called buyer's remorse, and almost everybody gets it to some extent, kind of like menopause. You may get it like hardcore, or you may just have a few little, you know, a little hot, right? Kind of the same way with buyer's remorse. Not really. That was funny. Why did I make that parallel? I don't know. But most people do, right? They get worried about it. They worry about, oh, you know what? Did I spend too much for the house? Should I have looked for more houses? Should I have upgraded that thing at the design center that I decided not to at the last minute? Should I have chosen the other home site? Like, it's going to go through your mind, you know? It's going to, and that's okay. But you do want to make sure that you understand as a buyer that when you submit an offer, and by the way, sellers too, when you both have signed this legal document, understand it is a legal document. And you should not go into it lightly. You should not be impulsive with it. It doesn't mean that you can't act quickly or swiftly. Make sure you are informed, though, so that you can make a decision and not feel like you're being rushed or pressured. That is me. That is 100% the way I work. I don't want people to feel rushed or pressured. And I tell every single one of my clients, buyers or sellers, I do not pressure you. I do not rush you. I will tell you when time is of the essence in like maybe a multiple offer situation, or maybe there's just only one home that meets your criteria and you keep thinking there's going to be more, but I know darn well you're looking for a needle in a haystack and we found that needle. So we should really think about this one. That's when I'm like, let's think about it, but let's think about it now. But understand that buyer's remorse happens, or at least contract remorse. But you really do need to understand the consequences. And in this case, again, I'm representing a seller, and the buyer, by the way, was well within their legal contractual rights to cancel. Remember that thing we've talked about, this safety period, the inspection period, which the default is like, 14, 15 days, but most people are going to put a 7 to 10 day inspection period. That tends to be plenty of time to get your inspection done, review the inspection results, the inspection report, come to any terms or agreements or changes, compensations, repairs, whatever, within that time frame. And and that safety period is for any reason, my friends. It could be for a change of heart, which is what it was for these buyers. And the agent was so frustrated. She was so upset. And she said, I am so sorry. This is 100%, my clients. And the flip side of it is that obviously the seller was upset. I don't know why she was upset with me, but I didn't have any control over that. I can only do what we're doing, right? Which is we received an offer. We negotiated the offer. The agent was fantastic. The buyer's lender is someone that I work with all the time. I spoke to the lender personally on the phone, so I felt very comfortable about the buyer's ability to close on the home. But I don't control the buyer's heart. So if the buyer decided they want to change their mind, we're stuck. If they're within the legal, contractual guidelines, we don't get to do anything. But the frustrating thing, and this is where my heart it goes out to my seller, is that when we get the contract and we feel like, okay, we're good, now they've got to scramble and they got to start making decisions and start ordering things like movers. And so they start to exert some financial responsibilities, I guess, or commitments on their end, only to have to turn around and cancel those, which could be a financial problem for them. So it's point is, it's a real thing. But make sure to avoid that you just think through the process a little bit and make sure that you are comfortable, make sure in every aspect. And, we are all, every realtor, every buyer, every seller is very, very excited to find that property and to get it secured ASAP, right? Everybody is. There's not a person involved in the transaction that is not excited when either their client or when their realtor procures either the buyer or the seller or the home that meets, everyone's expectations and that we contract on it. We're all a big team trying to work together for the same common goal, representing different parties. But yeah, that's kind of rough. So if you are looking to sell, make sure that you remember to honor those showing requests as best you can. And if there's going to be a problem where you can't, then let your agent know so we can block that out on the MLS. And if you're a buyer, make sure you think through the process a little bit more. Okay. All right. Let's say what we got here. Yeah, I have one more topic, but Melody. Good morning, Melody. Good morning, everyone from frigid Kentucky. Woo! Moving to Florida is very appealing now. Oh, I know. Oh gosh. You know what? Let me pull it up real quick because I forgot to add it here. Hold on. This is real life, folks. Let me find my sweet clients. Oh, wait. Okay. Jay, is this from you? I think, yes, it's Jay. Okay. So Jay, oh my gosh. All right. First of all, look at the picture Jay sent. Holy moly. Look how tall that is. Okay, first of all, that's beautiful though. Jay, that's beautiful. Wow. Holy moly. That's a lot of snow, my friend. That is a lot of snow. Wow. So yeah, the first one was their driveway. The second one's the backyard. That's insane. I don't like. Okay. Let me find real quick because I wanted to show you this. It was really funny. Um, let's see. This is another picture from my client the other day. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Well, maybe I can't do it. Um, there we go. There we go. So look at that one. Another client of mine sent me this the other day. They sent me this the other day where they are, and they said, yeah, they said that really Florida's looking very. They're actually getting ready to close on their home here very soon. Yeah, and he said. He's like, gee, why are you returning to Florida? Well, that would be why. Can you imagine? And that was several days ago. Anyway, all right, moving on. So our third topic, let me see. Yeah, Sydney, you are correct, my friend. Snow is beautiful till you have to shovel and drive. Amen. That is absolutely true. Okay, let me go on to our third topic, which, what was our third topic? Oh yeah, solar panel tips from lenders. Oh, guys, so I was having a conversation with a lender. I have a listing right now. There's some challenges with it, and the solar panels are one of them. And when I was talking to my a lender that I go to for a lot of questions and advice, sometimes when weird situations present themselves, I love to surround myself with people that are experts in their field. And I think that's the way it should be, right? It's very difficult for one person to know everything about everything. So when I have a question, it's great to be able to reach out to those resources and get firsthand kind of what they say. And this is what what my lender was telling us. And it's the same thing. We've talked about solar panel, excuse me, solar panels several times. And as, again, disclaimer, I do not have solar panels. I did not put them on our original house. I did not put them on our second house. I do not have them on any houses. So I only know what I know through the realm of the real estate lens. And it's always been, it's on the buyer or the seller side. I've had buyers that have purchased homes with solar panels, sometimes paid off, sometimes will be paid off. And, or my client has to assume the lease. And I've also had sellers who, same thing, either they have them paid off, they will pay them off with the proceeds of the sale of their home, or the buyer has to assume the lease. Here is like, and I'm so glad that my personal gut feelings were validated when I have this conversation. And again, if you have solar panels, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's wonderful. I think for our world, yes, 100%. We need solar panels. I think the solar panel energy and the way it kind of banks that energy for you, I think is fantastic. But before you do that, you have to understand the other piece of it, which is if you plan on selling your home anytime soon, it is not going to be financially beneficial if you have a lease on that. As the lender said, he said, pay it in full or use a credit card, but do not lease them. Because, and again, same thing, only for long-term home ownership. And then his point was, you have to understand that if you have solar panels and a lease that needs to be transferred to a buyer, the buyer then also has to potentially be approved for another 50, 60, 70, 80,000. What do you have left on that lease? Some buyers can't do that because that's part of their financing. So you have to understand that it's not that easy. So now it's a little bit more difficult even to find a buyer that wants the solar panels, that is okay to continue the lease, and that the lender says, yeah, you can afford to continue the lease. These are things that you need to think through before you get them. Again, if it's a long-term home, fantastic, because you're probably not going to have to worry about this. If you have the funds with which to do it, pay them off so that it doesn't become an issue at some point. And do the math, like really, really, really do the math. The number of times, And again, maybe this is because I don't have the solar panels, but I can do basic math, right? Not always in my head, but I can do it. So if you're like, well, I have the solar panels and my power bill's only like, $150 now a month. That's fantastic. How much is your lease? Well, that's $400 a month. Okay, so that's $550 a month or whatever I just said. That's not that much less than your power bill would have been. And now you have the detriment of having to, to get a buyer that wants the solar panels. And sometimes, by the way, as in this case, if you have not paid off enough on your solar panels, there is going to be a lien against your home. This is part of what we're going through, by the way, is that the seller needs to pay X amount, like $20,000, to the solar panel lease company before they can transfer to a potential buyer. Okay, first of all, don't have the $20,000 to do that. So if you don't have the $20,000, what does that company do? They put a lien on your house. Can you sell a house without clear title? No, you can't. So it's a hot mess is what I'm saying. So just make sure, do not be swayed by the salesperson with the solar panels. Do your due diligence and do your work. And again, this is full disclosure. I am not telling you from firsthand experience from an owner. I am telling you this from the real estate perspective, both buyers and sellers, and how this can and it will affect the pricing or the ability to buy the home or your ability to sell it. Make sure that you talk that through without the solar panel salesperson, because they will definitely swing it where it's a wonderful, great opportunity and the government this, and you'll build up the bank within the company. You'll have a credit in your account. Yeah, but at the bottom line, the day you try to sell that house or buy it, it's going to be a factor. So just make sure you pay attention to that. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Let's see what you got. Wait. Sydney says, wow, 15 feels like 47. Oh, the temperature. I was like, 15 feet of snow? What? Okay. Negative 15 feels like 47. Yowza. Jay, hubby did most of the snow removal yesterday, so I only had to do the end of the driveway this morning. Well, that's good. I actually, I saw something, one of those tips where they say if you put like a towel on your steps, then the snow will come onto that and the ice will come onto that and it'll get kind of frozen, but then you just peel up that frozen towel and then your stairs are clean. I don't know. I've never tried that. And then somebody else, I saw another thing about putting like a tarp or clear plastic sheeting over your car if your car has to be outside. And that you can just pull that out. I don't know. You tell me. Those of you that live up north and are very well versed at snow and snow removal, you let me know. Ernie says, we just have a foot of snow up in Chester County, PA. Chester County. That's not anywhere near Doylestown by any chance, is it? I wouldn't know because I'm not that versed in Pennsylvania, but that's, for whatever reason, that sounds really familiar. Okay, I'm going to move on. Let's go on to, where do I want to go? Let's go wishes. Okay. All right, good. You know what? I've learned there's a little button down here that has the mic and it's muted. And so when the bumpers come on, it mutes. And I just noticed it and I was like, oh, is it going to unmute or am I going to be talking to nobody that can hear me? Real quick, let's go to, mail bricks. Okay, I love this. It's important to do the research for solar panels. I do have them. I was able to remove paying for gas, getting EV, and currently pay 30 to 70 depending on the month, plus 170 for the panels. Yeah. So, and to your point, that is absolutely exactly what I mean. And again, validation of, but definitely do your research. I do think it is a good thing, and I am not opposed to them. I actually, when I retire, if that ever gets to happen, I would probably consider doing it. But, especially with stuff that was going on, I'm grateful that we did not do them in our last house, given the fact that, Eric's health and then him passing away and then me wanting to sell the house. I didn't need to sell the house, but emotionally I needed to sell the house. And I'm really glad that we did not, because we did talk about it. We didn't get too in depth. We had not reached out to anybody yet, but we had talked about whether or not that was something we wanted to do, especially since we had the pool, and we just thought it might be a good financial decision, but we did not do it. But yes, thank you for, again, definitely do your research. That is 100% true. Kim says, by the way, I love all these new people popping in. I love you guys. Thanks for joining in. We did a tarp on the stairs and it worked great. Really? Okay. This is good. So, I mean, I guess for the snow that's already come down, it's a little late, but for those of you that haven't tried it, maybe try that. Ernie says, yes, about a half hour or so. Okay. Well, Ernie, remember, by the way, I'm so off track now. Ernie, remember a little while ago, I was talking about Charlie's Angels and playing Charlie's Angels with my friends Brooke and Rosie. Well, my friend Brooke, that I was mentioning earlier, that played the Kate Jackson character with the shorter hair, she lives in Doswell, in Doylestown. Anyway, I don't know why I thought about that, but that's probably why it sounded familiar. Oh, that's so cool. All right, wishes. Okay, so 2 new listings popping up. We have Amanda has a beautiful townhome coming up. It's going on the market here very soon this week. Actually, photos are being done today, although it's a little rainy, so we're going to see if we need to postpone those or if the photos will be fine, because they can edit them and brighten them. And then Kathy and Jonathan, also another big beautiful home, going to be coming on the market here very soon as well. So stay tuned for those. And we'll start to share that info here shortly. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. Ames, please like and subscribe. I just adore all of you. You are just... It just makes my heart so happy. Thank you. I love you guys. All right, let's move on. Let's see what else we got. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and go to the listings. Let's go ahead and do that while we're talking about that. Okay, so this is our listing spotlight. 139, excuse me, 00 Lanyard Way. This is in Winter Garden. This is in the Encore at Ovation community by MI Homes. This is the Newport, and this one has it's basically a dual master, like a multi-gen home, because if you're familiar, and you're probably not, but if you've watched a lot of my videos, the Newport is one that I've done a lot of videos of because it's almost always one of their models. But what's really nice is that if you look at where the 2-car garage is, there's a third tandem bay garage behind the one that's on the left. So it could be a 3-car garage. Or you take that third bay and it becomes another, like an in-law suite, another bedroom with its own private bathroom. So it's like another big second primary. And that's what they did here. So the main big primary is upstairs, and then you have a secondary primary on the first floor. You've got more bedrooms, beautiful loft. And it also has, if you look at the middle picture in the bottom, a nice big backyard, no rear neighbors. Beautiful view there in the back. So, again, in the Winter Garden Horizon West area, it's priced really well, gorgeous. So if you have any interest, you let me know, or if you want to share that. Yep, Allie, look at her. Look at my girl. If you want to see the whole tour, the whole house, here's the link to that video tour. So yes, perfect. This is why she's so good. I can't wait to share news on Allie when I'm allowed to. Dadgummit. Anyway, okay, no, not pregnant. So there is our listing spotlight. Let's keep on going. So these are some of the other current listings. We have the Winter Garden Bungalow. This is the one that has just, just gone on the market. We have another Winter Garden in a gated community. You know what? Interestingly, same floor plan as the one that we just talked about. Also the Newport. And this one, a different community, though. This is in a different community. There's the Mineola 2-story. We actually did receive an offer on this one, guys. And this is another seller story, which is basically you need to know, if you are the seller, you need to know what your bottom line is immediately. If you don't know what your payoff is, you need to find that out before we get going in this process. Because we had an offer, it was a good offer, had it in hand, and seller not able to accept or counter until there was a bit more understanding of the the payoff of the property. So, so we, unfortunately, they let a buyer go, and that just devastates me, but I can't do anything. All I can do is advise you guys. Only thing I can do is tell you what you're doing right, or what you need to maybe fix, or if you should accept an offer, or if we should counter an offer, or it was a frustrating week. Can you tell? Anyway, beautiful Windermere townhome also had that one, and then of course the Horizon. Oh, that's the same one. Did we? Oh, that's the featured listing, and then the villa in the Del Webb Oasis 55 plus community that was actually our featured one last week. We just lowered the price to $412. Hallelujah! So if you are out there, those of you that are freezing your little toes off, and you are looking for a secondary, maybe your snowbird home, if you're over 55 or 55 or better, I guess I should say, just reduced the price of that. That is the least expensive with the most upgrades in that community. And even though the builder is still selling, this is by far the best unit. And now we've done a big price drop on it to help kind of get people in there. So if you or someone is thinking about potentially, who was it? Was it Jay? Were you guys the ones who was talking last week about that? I don't know. Maybe it was you. But now it's been dropped to $412. Beautiful villa there at Del Webb Oasis, minutes from Disney. Gated community, by the way. So that is why a lot of people do. It's not short-term rental. It is residential. But if you are looking for a snowbird type situation, a second vacation home, that is a fantastic one. It is gorgeous. Marble flooring everywhere that they changed after they bought it, custom cabinets and everything, closets, and it's just beautiful. So whoever was interested, call me. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Word. Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Okay. All right, Sydney, I see your question, and I'm going to get to your question here in just a minute, love. Okay. But let's go to this, the Fair Housing Act. Everyone knows it's not really a word, it's a phrase, but it's also a law. The Fair Housing Act, it was initiated in 1968, making it illegal in real estate transactions to discriminate based on protective classes. So the national protected classes are race, color, sex, familial status, religion, disability, and national origin. Those are all protected classes. They cannot discriminate against you. No one can in the process, right? So that is the law. But notice in Virginia, since I'm dual licensed, Virginia has a few additional protected classes here, here in the Virginia area, right? So you have the source of funds, which basically is where those funds come from. I don't like this one. Elderliness. So in other words, you cannot be discriminated against based on your age. Gender identity, what you identify as, sexual orientation, you cannot discriminate against that, or your military status. So those are additional protected classes in the state of Virginia that are not the same as in Florida, but the national ones for everyone based on the initial Fair Housing Act is race, color, sex, familial status, religion, disability, and the national origin. So it's important for you to know that, because there are many times that when you go closing on a home that you have to sign a document that says you were not discriminated against. So just know that. I know that people probably know that, but you probably don't really know all of that, right? So anyway, so make sure you know your rules and that people are protected and you cannot be discriminated in that case. Okay, so oh, Pam. Okay, real quick. The development Esplanade. Yes, the 55 plus there. I wondered if that's what you were talking about, but honestly, I wasn't sure. And for some reason, all I could think of was Oasis, but that's the Del Webb name for 55 plus, whereas Esplanade is Taylor Morrison's. I will get you some info on that. Are you looking to move, my friend? So Allie also was talking about the villa home. That villa video is coming up on Thursday. So Sydney asked, I guess referencing the house, the featured house the spotlight listing, which is the one where I said they had done like the dual primary bedroom, multi-gen. She goes, those in-law suites have a living room, bedroom, bath, and some, washer, dryer, fridge, and dishwasher. Why not stoves? Oh, I gotcha. All right. Well, so in this case, those homes don't have all of that. It is essentially another big bedroom and a big bathroom. So it's not an ensuite where it's just a bedroom and a bathroom, where it could be like your kid and they have their own private tiny little bathroom. In this case, it's a little bit more of a little bit better, bigger bathroom and a nicer bedroom. But for the true multi-gen, like for the ones that do have the stoves, some of them do actually have stoves. They some Lennar homes, Lennar has a lot, honestly, multi-gen homes that do have exactly what you're referencing. In fact, the video isn't up yet. I'm like, I was just in one. So there is one that I'm going to show you by Pulte over at Parkside Trails very soon. That is exactly what you are talking about, Sydney. It provides you not only a living room, but it also has a kitchen, like a full kitchen, full-size fridge, dishwasher, stove, all of it. It's not a ton of cabinetry, but it's enough. And then you also have the bedroom. You have all of the things that you need, and it has its own private entrance. So when you walk up to the main front door, there's also a door here on the side that gives you access to that. So that one will be coming up soon. When I go out and I do my video production, I do quite a few videos at a time. And then, it takes a while to get them edited, and then we release them when it's time. But there are some for sure. So some of them do have stoves. I think that depending on the area, maybe they don't want that liability. I don't know. But some of them that are true, like little houses, like a little mini apartment, I guess is the best way to say it. A little apartment can have that. For those that are just like for conveniences, they might have just a wet bar where it's just the sink and maybe a beverage fridge, but a counter where you could put a microwave or a coffee pot or something like that. So some of them, yes, I know what you mean. Some of them don't have that, but there are some that do, where it's like a whole little house in there, a whole little mini apartment. All right, cool. Let's keep going. So anyway, so yes, those protected classes. I just want to make sure we did that. All right, what I'm watching. Okay, so I finished watching this, I think a little over a week ago. It may have been the week that I took off. I think I finished it. But then last week I featured Traders because I love that one so much. But I did finish watching this one, which is called The Beast in Me. It's on Netflix. I enjoyed it. I mean, there's not a lot of things that I love, but I enjoyed watching it. I didn't stop after the first episode. And there are a lot of things that I start to watch and then I'm like, I'm just not in it. And I don't know what it is. Actors are fine. Storyline is probably fine. But I will tell you, a little inside scoop to Miss Amy here is that I don't like graphic violence. I just don't like it. So if in the beginning, within the first couple of minutes, there's some horrific, violent something or other, I tend to go, yeah, no, I don't need that. So anyway, that's a little inside scoop on who Miss Amy is. And then Sydney says she has this on her watch list. Yeah, it was good. Honestly, it was better than I thought. It kept promoting it or suggesting. It kept suggesting that I would like it, but I just, for whatever reason, I just kept scrolling past it. But I did finally watch it and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? It was pretty good. So maybe it had, the algorithm worked for me. So that one was pretty good. All right, let's see. Pam says The Beast in Me definitely kept my interest. Claire Danes is yes, she is. The whole thing was good. Pam, I think you and I end up watching a lot of the same things, my friend. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I'm watching, again, Traders. I forgot the episode came on Thursday. So it wasn't until like Saturday that I was like, oh, I have an episode to watch. That's part of my problem is I can't remember what I need to go back and follow up on. So I like to have the whole season there ready so I can just watch it. But Traders is different. I'll wait. I'll put it on my calendar, I guess. Anyway, okay, we are almost done here, my friends, but I still got a couple things. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I think it was Scoop. Okay, I'm obsessed with this little mute mic button over here now. So, all right, so the Horizon West Regional Park is officially open. It was months ago. I sent you a picture saying, I was out there and that it was coming. And it's been developing as it goes, but now it's officially open. You can see the signage, the parking, playground, the picnic pavilion is nice, restrooms, which is fabulous. Love the playground, play area, and of course, the big sign that does tell you that the park is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's really nice. I think it's a great thing for that Horizon West community to have it's sort of centralized. It's more in the Hamlin area, but to have a place that that the families can go. There's a lot of parks and amenity centers within communities that are around, but not every community has that. Not every community has a playground for the kids, or not every community just has that extra green space. So I really do. I think it's a great thing to be able to have some space for families to go, let the kids run around and meet up with other kids or other moms or other dads or friends or neighbors or family or whatever, and just kind of go and have a picnic lunch. And I remember, yeah, Mrs. Florida Man, Kathleen. Yes, I know the library. I was actually just getting ready to say, I was like, the library is going to be the next really exciting thing. So now can you imagine like going to the library, getting a book or two or three, and then having a picnic lunch, either yourself, or if you've got kids or grandkids, or if it's just literally just you, whatever. Maybe I'll do that. I'm thinking. Grabbing a book, grabbing a lunch, and going to the park and just sitting there and just kind of enjoying the atmosphere and nature and outdoors, and just kind of, I don't know, just loving where you live, I guess, right? Anyway, and then the one thing, I do have a secret for us, but I didn't end up putting anything in it. But in the Central Virginia area, because I'm going to throw in some of that Central Virginia stuff too. So there is an area there that is growing essentially like Horizon West did to begin with, right? So in Horizon West, there was just all that land that was zoned agricultural, that was citrus groves, and then all of that land, again, ironically, uncharacteristic deep freezes kind of messed things up a little bit. Those farmers and landowners wanted to sell the land, and they had the pushback saying, well, we can't sell it. And then they said, well, or they can't have it rezoned. And then finally it was like, well, we can rezone it to residential, but it's going to be one house every 5 to 10 acres, which obviously sounds quite lovely, but that was not economically feasible for those farmers and landowners, and blah, 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 blah. Horizon West was formed. It eventually was rezoned to residential, and they did start to develop that area with lots and lots of communities in a very desirable location. Hence, Horizon West was born. So there's a very, very similar thing happening in Central Virginia, in the Chesterfield, like Moseley area, Richmond. If you just think Richmond, but because you got the city, it's the same thing. You got downtown Richmond like 30 minutes away, just like you've got downtown Orlando about 30 minutes away. Same thing. Airport about 35 minutes away. Same thing. All of this area in Central Virginia was also lots and lots and lots of farmland. So while it didn't have citrus groves on it, there was a lot of farmland, and that farmland is now being developed into areas. There's a huge data center that's coming here. We'll talk about that maybe next week. But there's a lot of stuff that's coming to the Virginia area, which is really, really popping up a tremendous amount of new construction, very similar to how things started with Horizon West. So anyway, so just there's a community called Dogwood, which is funny because growing up, I remember there was a dogwood tree in our front yard, and it used to have these little red seeds on it. And whenever I'd see the seeds, I would go pick them and put them in my mud pies. And my mom got mad at me. Same thing with the magnolia trees. I used to take the buds from those too, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, but yeah, so Dogwood is going to have several builders, much like Summer Lake in Horizon West did. You are probably going to have builders like Main Street Homes, Shell Brothers, H.H. Hunt, I believe, are going to be out there. And it's going to be kind of an all-inclusive thing as well, where you're going to have some townhomes as well as some single-family homes. So it's a really big developing area out there in Central Virginia. So, stay tuned for that. So if you're thinking of moving and you don't know if it's going to be to Mickey Mouse, or if you think you're just going to move somewhere else, this could be on your radar. So anyway, all right, guys, let's see, I'm going to go look at a couple of these. Actually, real quick. Kim asks, I know it's random, but has anyone done the boat tour in Winter Park? I have not, but if any of you have, feel free to chime on in. Let's see. Pam says the granddaughters are going to love that library. 100%. Kim, funny you asked because my son just did it last week and he said it was really good. Nice. Okay, good. Geraint, Nuremberg is good to watch. Russell Crowe, not my favorite actor, but he plays an excellent part as Goring. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. We'll put that on our list. Thank you, Geraint. Gary, good morning, Gary. You joining in here. We're almost done, my friend, but I'm happy to have you anytime. Mrs. Florida Man, to Pam, I asked the Winter Garden branch and they said possibly opening early March. Yeah, that's actually what I heard too. It should be coming soon. Let's see. Anybody else? Okay, very good. Excellent. All right, guys. So I know I don't have any new baby stuff, but if you want, I can show you the pictures from last week so you can see how cute they are again. I didn't add any in. It was a little bit of a crazy week. So, I didn't add those in, but I have more pictures for you next week. So as always, guys, let me pop this over here. Oh, you know what? Wait, before I do that, well, I can still do the promo. I'm always here to help. Call me or text me at 407-848-8042. As a reminder, if you were interested in the Central Virginia area, that phone number is going to be 757-329-0055. But you can call me on either phone. It's fine. It's still me. Okay, but real quick, I did want to go through the weather because it's so important to where everyone is. You can hear me, right? Allie, are you so proud of me? So for whatever reason, there's a glitch in our stream deck where when we do the weather, you can hear me, right? Everyone say, yes, we can hear you. Usually when we do the weather, it cuts off the mic. And so I didn't know that. And so now I've been pushing the mic, which is why I've been obsessed with it all day. Anyway, take a look at the differences here, my friends. So if you are looking to move to Florida, here's a good reason why. You have 84 degrees. You can take a look at the weather this week. And then the bottom one is what the weather's going to be there in Central Virginia. So a little bit colder. They've had some snow as well. Some snow, some cold temperatures. So Allie said, so proud. That's my girl. He's very proud of me. But yeah, so you can definitely see the differences in those temperatures. I was talking to my mom and my sister in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I just switched it, making sure. Okay, cool. To Virginia Beach, Virginia, and asked, what happened? How were they? What did they get? And they said they got about an inch of snow, but then the rain came and washed it all away. So they're like, wah, wah. They didn't really get much. And you may be going, oh, that's great, but if you live in Virginia, some areas like a little bit of snow. Those of you that live up north, or Jay, where you're digging out with that much, not quite as much fun. Those of you in New York, I know, I get it. But in states like Virginia, where you get 4 beautiful seasons, having a dusting or a little bit of snow is a beautiful, wonderful thing. It gives you the opportunity to be cold and to bundle up and to enjoy a beautiful view and, just enjoy what the weather brings. Knowing that it's not going to last. It's not going to stay, right? It's like, oh, it did snow, like just drifted down for a little bit. It's pretty. Have some hot cocoa. And then the next day, again, it's Virginia, so it'll probably be hot the next day. But anyway, but yeah, so I talked to my mom and my sister, and they both said the same thing, that they got a little bit of snow and they were so excited, but then the rain came and washed it all away. So worried mostly about my son, like I said, up at JMU. They do not have classes today. So anyway, all right, now I'm going to actually go. All right. You guys are the best. I absolutely adore you again. I thank you guys for always joining in and hanging out with me. I have some different topics I was going to do this week, but I decided to put them for next week. So obviously I will see you then. So as always, you guys know I enjoy my Monday mornings because you are a part of it. So as always, please stay safe, stay well. Remember, I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.